Have you ever used a product or, had an experience that just felt kind of magical? Like it knew exactly what you needed right when you needed it. Maybe even before you knew you needed it. It's that feeling of being completely, perfectly understood.
Okay, let me paint you a picture. Imagine you've been flying all day, you finally drag yourself into your hotel, you're totally wiped out, and boom, right there at the front desk is a warm cookie. It's the perfect snack at the perfect moment. As the folks at Leaders of Awesomeness put it, it's like they anticipated that you were hungry and they made it happen. That feeling is just incredible, right? But is it just a lucky guess, a happy accident, or is there a method behind this? A secret to these moments of perfect anticipation? Well, that is exactly what we are going to break down today.
Now, if you want to build a great product, you've probably heard the most common advice a million times. It seems so logical, right? You just start by asking people what they want.
Yep, the common wisdom is pretty simple. Just listen to your customers. And this has created a whole industry of what are called voice of the customer programs. They're all designed to capture every single feature request, every complaint. But there's a huge hidden flaw in this way of thinking.
See, when you're only listening to what customers are asking for, you're only hearing about their active needs. These are the problems that users are already totally aware of. They can describe them, and they'll tell you exactly what they think the solution should be.
And these active needs, they have a few key things in common. Users can spell them out for you, usually as a specific fix, like, I really need an export button right here. And fulfilling these needs is absolutely crucial, don't get me wrong. It prevents frustration, and it gets your product to a baseline level of usability. You could call it edible. But here's the thing, edible is not the same thing as remarkable.
And this really gets to the core of the problem. If you only focus on what your customers are asking for, you're just meeting their expectations. You're playing catch-up. Like the quote says, when you only ask your users, would this feature be valuable to you, you miss huge opportunities. And those opportunities, well, they're hiding somewhere else entirely.
So where are these huge, game-changing opportunities? They are found in the needs we can't even describe. This is the real wellspring of innovation.
These are what we call latent needs. These are the problems users don't even realize they have, or solutions they couldn't possibly imagine. They're invisible to the customer, but they are the secret ingredient behind those products that feel like absolute magic.
Latent needs are the source of true delight. I mean, think about heated seats in a car. If you live somewhere cold, that's a total game changer, right? But you would never think to ask for them until you've actually felt them on a freezing cold morning. And then, all of a sudden, you can't imagine ever living without them. That's a latent need being met. And here's a fantastic real-world example. For years, Netflix saw tons of customers canceling their subscriptions. But when they actually dug in, they found out people didn't really want to leave forever. They were just going to be super busy for a month or traveling. Their system only gave them one option, cancel. But what they really wanted was pause. So Netflix introduced the pause subscription feature, a perfect solution to a problem customers couldn't even tell them they had. This chart just nails the difference. Active needs. You're aware of them, you can talk about them, and fixing them prevents you from getting frustrated. It meets your expectations. But latent needs? They're unconscious. You can't describe them. And solving them? That creates genuine delight. That is how you blow expectations out of the water. Okay, so this is all great, but if customers can't even tell you about their latent needs, how on earth do you find them? Well, it takes a completely different way of thinking about research.
First off, your standard toolkit is out. Surveys, focus groups, all those voice of the customer programs, they're designed to capture what people already know they think. They can only tell you about active needs. To find the really juicy, hidden problems, you have to go a lot deeper.
The only real way to find these latent needs is through total immersion. It's what some product researchers call deep hanging out. Literally just spending real time with your customers in their world, on their turf. It's all about observation, about seeing their day-to-day life through their eyes so you can spot the friction and the workarounds that they've gotten so used to they don't even notice them anymore.
And modern teams get pretty creative with this stuff. With something called Wizard of Oz testing. A real person, the wizard, will secretly pretend to be a sophisticated AI, just to see how users react to a new idea before a single line of code is written. Or there's a need-finding machine, which lets a designer remotely observe and even interact with a user's environment to really understand their context in real time.
Okay, so you've done the deep dive, you've found a latent need, you've created that moment of delight. What's the end game here? Well, it's about turning that awesome little novelty into something people feel they absolutely can't live without.
And this deep user understanding, this ability to solve problems customers didn't even know they had, this is the absolute key to achieving what everyone in the startup world is chasing: product market fit, or PMF. That's the magical point where your product basically starts to sell itself.
But here's a really important thing to remember. As Bessemer Venture Partners points out, product market fit isn't a simple on or off switch. It's not binary, it's a spectrum. It's a signal that gets stronger and stronger over time as you get better and better at solving those deep user needs.
And that journey usually follows a pretty clear path. You might start out with just a light signal. A handful of early adopters absolutely love what you've built. Then that can grow into a moderate signal, where you see really strong usage in one specific group. And finally, you hit a strong signal. That's when your retention is through the roof and that powerful, unstoppable word of mouth really kicks in.
And to see what this looks like when a company absolutely nails it, let's talk about Brisk Teaching. It's an AI tool for educators, and it grew to over 1 million users almost entirely through word of mouth. So how'd they do it? They didn't just build some cool AI tech. They literally embedded themselves in the teacher's workflow to solve a deep, painful problem.
And here it is. This is the magic number. The reason Brisk went viral is because teachers started reporting that it was saving them over 10 hours a week on tedious administrative tasks. It solved a latent need, the need for more time, so powerfully that teachers just couldn't help but tell all their colleagues about it.
And this brings us to a super important point, especially right now with all the hype around AI. Building new tech is expensive, but building the wrong thing is way, way more costly. You should remember this quote: "The cheapest AI product you will ever build is the one you validate out of existence before writing a line of code." User need has to come first, always, before the cool technology.
So that's the secret. The products we truly can't live without, they're not really magic. They're the result of a deep, empathetic hunt for the problems we don't even have the words to describe. Which leads me to a final question for you to chew on. What product out there solved a problem you didn't even know you had?